The following announcement is paid for by the Wrestling with Nerds.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
That's correct, right?
Hey there, the name's Nukem, Duke Nukem, and you're watching the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. For some unknown reason, enjoy.
This honky tonk man, greatest intercontinental champion of all time, and you're watching Wrestling with Nerds podcast. Yes, that's my favorite. Shake, rattle, and roll.
$12 weeks.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Wrestling with Nerds podcast. We are talking about Money in the Bank from last night and also Worlds Collide. What's up, peeps? How's it going?
AJ's muted.
I am muted, but at least everybody at home can hear me.
That's good. We can't.
Yeah, that's fine. I just did our intro. I didn't want to bother you guys with the intro. It's fine. But how you guys doing?
What's going on?
Good.
Up late last night. Still have a headache. Just saying.
It's
That late?
that time of the year. Allergies.
Yeah, we'll call it allergies.
I mean,
Allergic to drinking too much alcohol?
It's okay. I have them muted so nobody can play them.
I mean, the best part of the night was you clicking in the Crim's stream of the Australian V8 supercars, asking him what he was watching, and then asking why it was sunny out.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure when he said, I think this is an X car race or something, it was pretty funny.
Mhm.
Sounds like that get made into a soundboard, according to our friend Joe.
I may have heard it 4 times already.
Well,
Yeah, well,
it was pretty funny.
Everybody enjoys bagging on the host.
The best part was the best part of the Crim one was like, what are you watching? And he's like, V8 supercars in Australia, and he's like, why? Like, he was totally taken aback by like, why is it so sunny out? I don't know, AJ. Maybe because they're in Australia.
It's okay.
Almost.
It's okay. He just did his Dom Mysterio about time changes a couple weeks ago.
I was going to say it was more like a certain recently released superstar that showed up to the wrong
I don't like being booed.
wrong
bullied.
Australia.
I don't like being bullied.
I mean, the truth sometimes hurts, AJ.
The truth
it
sells
very
sets you
much
free.
hurts. It punches in your face a couple times too.
Ow. Anything good happened this week?
No.
Mariah May, easy.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that was a good
Mariah
one.
May. I was waiting for you to catch on to that one. Yeah, Mariah May
Easy.
makes her debut in NXT. Is her name gonna stay Mariah May? Guess what? I don't care.
Can I tell you what I heard that the rumor is for her name?
What, March, June?
No. Mariah Saints, like Ricky Saints, is the rumor.
Oh, well, I mean, Ricky Saints is headed to the main roster, so doesn't make.
Is he
any-
really?
Yeah, I'm betting that Ricky Saints is one that gets moved up either during the draft or after the draft. Would explain him dropping the North American title to Ethan Page as quick as he did.
I don't know. The way he smacked his neck and head on that chair, I still get nightmares about. Well, maybe not anymore after last night with Andrade.
How about Izzy Dame taking control of the calling and eliminating Brooks Jensen?
That was wild.
That was pretty.
I'm kind of curious on where that's gonna go if Brooks is maybe on his way out.
Wouldn't mind seeing Brooks and Briggs get back together, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but oh god, the Japanese dude's name.
Half Mohawk Yoshi.
Yeah, that guy. I mean, are they gonna do a 3-man team then? Because it looks like he's back too.
I don't know. Who knows? It could be that he has to work his way back into the calling. Speaking of Sean Spears, TNA had their Under Siege event on Friday night, and a certain tag team made their return, and it was quite iconic.
Ha! But they're
That's a
not the
good one.
Iconics anymore.
Are inspiring, should I say? The inspiration, the Iconics, made their return to TNA. Billy Kay, Jessica McKay, and Cassie Love, Peyton Royce made their return. And might I say, if Rocky was here, he would have stood up out of his chair. They
More
look,
than once.
they look absolutely fantastic. When Cassie Lee walked out, all I could think about was, "Oh, poor Rocky's not here to see it." That was Rocky's favorite woman of all of them. But they're back and they're on TNA. So will they end up on NXT?
I would
Maybe.
assume so.
I would
Would it
think
be
so.
funny to have some kind of awkward moment where like they walk by Spears in the calling and they just walk on past? Could be kind of fun to see. It sounds like Oba and Jasper Troy are headed to a collision for the NXT title.
Poor choice of words. We don't talk about the collision.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I could dynamite it.
You really blew that one up.
I hate you.
The women's division heats up with JC Jane as the new NXT champion. They all want a shot. Jada Parker looking as fine as ever.
Miss Parker. Miss Parker.
I think it's this time for the NXT women's division to prove that they still are the best women's division in wrestling. I don't care. 2 people at the top of a division doesn't make the division the best, especially when one of them is one that won't let anybody get over on them. I'm talking about over on the other show. Evidently, she added another championship to her collection, but who
She did.
cares? But honestly, who cares? It's bad when you film a video of a TikTok where there's supposed to be other people dancing with you, and the only person you can get to dance with you is a little guy who just wants to be on a TikTok. Pretty much explains my thoughts on her exactly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure even her cousin would have went, "Who?"
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Since she went to AEW, that it's not even been brought up at all. And it was a go-to thing for WWE to mention that her cousin was the Snoop Dogg. I kind of think that's kind of funny. I think it's more along the lines of he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna stick with the deal with the WWE I got because it's a better deal than what you got at AEW."
Probably asked him, "Do you know who AEW is?" And he went, "Who?"
Who?
So I'm gonna back out here for a second because I'm gonna let AJ and Mike go over Worlds Collide because I didn't see it yet.
I didn't even know Mike saw it. I thought I was the only one that saw it.
I saw bits and pieces. I didn't see the whole thing.
I thought it was today.
No, it was yesterday. It was a noon. It started at noon, July 7th, Inglewood, California, Kia Forum. We don't have any, how many people are there,
but 3 here.
No, noon here.
In the morning there.
Oh, I was told it was on at 3. No wonder I missed it.
But yeah, a lot of people that I am now interested in watching. Mr. Iguana, top of the list for me. Absolutely. I like comedy characters, but this comedy character is more. He can actually go, and I cared about the pet iguana too, the little stuffy.
Did you see the meme that already came out today where it showed you who the first Mr. Iguana was?
Oh, Goldust?
And it's Goldust dressed up as a crocodile hunter. back in the day. It's pretty funny.
So Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and Mr. Iguana defeated Latino World Order, Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro, Lince Dorado in a 6-man tag match. This, if you're talking about the whole day of wrestling yesterday, this is maybe my second favorite match of the day.
It was a pretty good one. I did get the chance to go see the full thing. At
So
least out
Ryan,
of that match.
you know how we bitch and moan about people flip flopping and doing stupid shit? These guys were flip flopping, but I cared. They were doing it in such a way where it was all part of the story of the match. And this is a six people, all good guys for what I understood. And they just tore it down. Way to open the day.
Did they do these matches under like a WWE kind of ruling or a AAA kind of ruling?
WWE, because there was a lot of flipping out to the outsides and everything, and I think in Mexico you're not supposed to leave the ring.
No, you can leave the ring. I was just curious because a tag match in Mexico or a 6-man match or whatever, if you leave the ring, it's open for somebody to get in and become legal.
No, there were tags.
You don't have to make tags, which I always thought was kind of interesting about luchador wrestling.
But there were some moves where I am still trying to figure out how they got that much airtime to do it.
Yeah.
I think it was Octagon Jr. or Aerostar who literally went from the inside of the ring to somebody on top of the turnbuckle, jumped up there, spun them off the turnbuckle onto a crowd of people on the ground. And how? They got the ups.
They did. It was a good match to kick it off, to be honest.
And the main reason I sent it to you guys is I wanted somebody that's not experienced luchador wrestling.
I care.
Explaining about it because it was pretty. I wanted to see if it changed any opinion on it.
Now, I don't know how this is going to... Is it going to be like a AAA NXT, AAA WWE, or just AAA... we'll see when Worlds Collide comes back around.
I'm going to imagine that they're going to do their best to push AAA onto whether Peacock picks it up or if they do it on their... I would imagine they might do it on the WWE YouTube page.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be shocked if they don't start running shows on that for AAA. With both the Spanish version and an English. I think what you're gonna get is you're gonna get a lot of hold on a second. Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of NXT talent going down and a lot of their talent coming up. And then you'll get some WWE guys going down and some of their guys coming up. You're gonna get the back and forth that we're not used to from WWE. It really bugs me. Yes, I guess I'm a WWE mark through and through because it's what I've watched since I was 2 years old. But like, I don't understand people's fathom with wanting to see everything fail. We criticize AEW.
Thanks, TJ, you just reminded me.
We see NXT, or we watch AEW, or we talk about AEW, but we're not looking for it to fail. We want it to succeed, but we want it to be good at succeeding.
Yeah.
It's not like we sit here and bash AEW because we want it to go away because WWE is what we want on television only. Other shows being on television is great for everybody. And yeah,
I mean, I would think with us doing our Raw WWF versus WCW highlight series, we're promoting the fact there was 2 good promotions at the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I really hate every time I turn on social media, I want to turn it off, or the people talking, I want to slap the shit out of.
Or the jackasses last night when everybody was having issues getting into the Intuit Dome and like, oh god, the place is half empty.
It's like I'm at the point now where I'm just I don't care about attendance. I don't care who shows up for what. I don't care what the cost of ticket prices are. I don't care about this. I don't care about that. I just care about the product that's on television and whether it keeps me interested or not. That's all I care about. I mean, yeah, it's fun to poke fun at it here and there at times, but like, in all honesty, what happens in the audience doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect anybody in the IWC. It just gives the IWC something that they can latch onto and bitch about constantly and pick apart. And at the end of the day, nobody cares.
Well, to
Yeah,
that
but-
end, AEW is the one that started the whole thing about attendance. WWE didn't care. None of us cared. We're like, we don't care. And then all of a sudden, AEW go, oh, we beat them. Oh, we beat them. And then they started having house shows and shows with no one in the audience. It's like, don't boast and then fail.
And then you'd have WWE talent be like, "Oh, we got people on the hard camera side."
Yeah, I mean, let the two companies battle it out that way. It doesn't involve any of us.
I don't like the tribalism. Like, we've tried to watch the other product, we're not into it. That's fine.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea. Will I tune in to check to see? Will I check out All In? Yes. Will I watch it live? No. Why? Because what I like is going to be on a different channel, and I don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, I'm excited for what they do for the Great American Bash.
I'm more into NXT anymore than I am any other product, so I'm going to watch NXT.
Well, true, but the people that we were into are already moving to the main roster.
Still.
But NXT still produces this product that is constantly great.
Yeah.
And Sunday's Evolution. I loved the first Evolution. I am literally contemplating in my head about can I make it plausible to go to Atlanta? I've been trying to figure out a way to get out of here for a little couple of days.
Joe, if you're still watching, how do I sound?
It's like literally, how can I figure out how to get to Atlanta for Evolution 2?
Well, and you're also going to have Saturday Night Main Event too on Saturday too, following up NXT.
Yeah, it's like, and I don't know about anybody else. I don't care about ticket prices because going to these events should feel special.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think the Raws or SmackDown should be astronomical like they've been.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree on that one. But like the pay-per-views or these weekends where they bundle things together, it's a vacation destination. It's going to cost some money.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Pay-per-views should cost money. But I wanted to go to Raw when it was in Hartford to sit where we normally sit, like on the hard cam side, out of view still. It was still $300 a ticket when a couple years ago it was maybe $125 a ticket.
Yeah, I wanted to go to SmackDown in Chicago a couple months ago when on the road to WrestleMania, but tickets were like $300-$400 a pop for even the cheapest one. I'm like, yep, not going to that.
Now, is that through second sellers or is that through them?
It's the same people I always go through at SeatGeek.
I was doing,
and that's the thing.
Ticketmaster.
I'm keeping it consistent wherever I buy my tickets to kind of view, how things are changing.
Now I've heard Pick Tick or Tick Pick or whatever is a really good one to use now. I don't mind it because I do the payment plan things. So I don't care because one, it helps me out credit wise.
Yeah.
It helps you out by making the payments and it helps boost your credit. And you're not killing yourself paying $400 out of your pocket. You're paying literally a payment and then you just got 3 or 4 payments and you're done.
I get what you're saying, but it still sucks in the aspect of the same place you would sit. Even I was going to sit higher and not worry, like where you were sitting when you came up to Hartford.
But also, when you looked for tickets before, the company wasn't run by a major company.
Yeah, true.
It was private. It was owned by McMahon and the family.
And I know that we're on this topic right now, but you're gonna have a lot of people complain about, especially what got announced last night for next year. And
I don't care. I'm going. I don't care.
You've made that decision?
I've made that decision because I was gonna go to Louisiana, and that got moved. Listen. If I don't have to go to Louisiana where it's smoldering hot and smells like piss everywhere, I don't care.
Wait, isn't it going to be really hot in Las Vegas?
It's a dry heat.
Yeah, hot is hot. Okay, time out. Hold on, time out. Since we're talking about Mania getting moved, Ryan blew this Friday night. Blew it completely because he mentioned, it looks like Hunter recorded something backstage, something about doing.
Oh, if it's
once.
worth doing once, you
Yeah.
should run it back. I mean,
And,
that's
and then I'm
Yeah.
sitting there, I was like, we're gonna watch that tomorrow. Sure as shit.
Yep.
yeah. So I'm gonna try my best to go to WrestleMania. I'm gonna save up for it, and I'm
Well,
gonna
you
go.
said this year when you found out how much stuff was, you were like, I should have went.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because the smart thing to do is, I mean, to plan your stuff out. Listen, I'll give you the. This is the layout of how you should do this. Go ahead and book your hotel for WrestleMania weekend, because that's gonna be if you want a good hotel, that's probably your most expensive thing.
Go try
pay
to
for
stay in the
on
woman that
WrestleMania
they're
weekend.
gonna do the Hall of Fame ceremony in.
Because if you literally get your plane ticket, if you need to travel, which I'll have to get a plane ticket, get your hotel paid for before the end of the year, and wait until, I'm not kidding you, wait until a week or a week and a half from WrestleMania and order everything else you want. Everybody complained about ticket prices, and the week before WrestleMania, everything dropped.
Was that them trying to fill the arena?
No, it's the bots doing what they do best. They can't they went and bought all of these tickets when tickets went on sale, the scalpers like they normally do.
Okay.
And when nobody
Scalpers
was
need a different
buying-
Like
hobby.
friends we know that bought 2 Switch 2s.
Yeah.
Wait,
When
who
they-
bought 2 Switch 2s?
John?
He bought 2 of them?
Yes, and sold one.
Yeah.
For how
Well, like,
much?
I'm assuming more than he paid for it at the door.
I literally saw somebody post that they bought a Switch 2 and put it on like one of the marketplace sites, and I read the comments, and literally everybody was bashing them for selling it for $200 more than what it was. And literally everybody was like, I don't know if you know this or not, but COVID's over with. That shit don't fly no more. And I literally read through like the 28 comments, and it was not a single person wanted to buy it from me.
I literally had a moment last night where I was like, I kind of want one.
Just before or after you were drinking?
Before. Well before.
Like
And
how you had to look.
I almost like went and looked for it. And I'm like, these are like $700. $800.
Sounds like a WrestleMania ticket.
I have a baby coming, so I have to be careful. Because she's also sitting right there giving me the death stare. It's like, don't you fucking buy anything, asshole.
I mean, I've come to the conclusion where you only live this. You're only on this world once. I'm at that point in my life now.
Yep.
You're
You ain't
only on
taking
this
it
world
with
one
you.
time. And
You ain't taking it with you.
if
yeah,
I
I'll
can-
leave the debt with everybody else.
if I can plan a vacation with my wife to go to Las Vegas, a place we've wanted to go, and I can go watch wrestling, and she likes going to watch wrestling with me, probably not as much as what I would do, I'm all for it. I'll take the girlfriend with me, and them two can go craft shopping or whatever the hell they want to go do, and I'll go watch wrestling.
Where's
It's
Grayson
that
in all
simple.
this?
It'll be school time. He'll be at school.
Maybe staying with Grandpa that week.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
listen,
maybe
dude,
I can get away next April
No.
for a weekend.
I'm waiting for something to come flying in on
Yeah,
camera.
that's exactly
and hit
what I
him
was
right
waiting
in the
for.
head.
cue the shoe to the forehead.
You just see a thing just come flying out
I'm sorry,
of
honey,
you.
what?
AJ, why does your forehead say Nike?
Just
She
has
says
the
as long as
swoosh.
she gets her own
She's got
vacation.
the swoosh.
You can go to Disney World with the baby.
Listen,
I'll go to
listen.
Las
I
Vegas.
can vouch for this right here. You need to learn this. It is very good for parents to leave their kids at home with somebody else watching them.
Oh,
And
I'm
you
happy you
take
added
a
that.
va-
I was gonna
I-
say,
I
hold on
real-
now.
I realized it when I said it. I was like, wait a minute, fix that. Correct. It is okay to take an adult vacation from your kid.
So we can take an adult vacation with our child. Without our child. Leave him here. We go somewhere
Well,
for a night.
The little disclaimer to that is Jess is going to need to be with the kid for a little while,
Yeah,
assuming you
yeah.
guys are
So,
doing things a certain way.
I hadn't gotten that far. Your problem is your adult vacations is still about 6 to 7 years away before you can even remotely start thinking about one. Why? Because she's going to be attached to the kid. The kid's going to be attached to her. And the idea that
And I'm the asshole in the corner.
the idea of that kid staying somewhere for a number of days without either one of you seeing or holding the kid is something that both of you are going to have to go through, and you both are going to hate it because it sucks. But once they get to like the age of mine where I want to just like tell him to go
Ditch
fuck
'em?
off
Where you
sometimes.
want them to be gone for a couple
yeah,
days?
yeah. Like
I mean,
today.
Why
like
can't
today.
I just knock on my mother-in-law's door or even my father's door?
Let me
and
tell
just be
you,
like,
being the
"Knock, leave,
divorced
baby, leave."
dad, the divorced dad with kids in here, I love it when the kids go home for a couple days. I miss them like shit the day after.
like
But
like today, Grayson is with his friend. His friend's birthday. They wanted to go to a museum.
We're so not talking
thing.
about wrestling anymore.
It's fine. This is what makes this more personable.
Except
Grayson's
for-
got a friend for a birthday and wanted to go to the museum, and they're like, "Can Grayson go?" And it was like, "Yes, it's Sunday. Take him." That way, I got it's me and the wife at the house. Nothing's getting done. I've got plans after we
Nobody
go to the
saw
podcast
that.
to do some moving things around.
She throw something at you?
Take him. But when he gets back, it's like, cool. The house is home. The house is complete. The three of us are here.
Oh, she threw the stitch at you.
She
But I
stitch
trust-
at me.
Trust me, 3 or 4 days away from that kid would be a blessing sometimes.
And you have me as the outlier having none of this at all.
I threw a
Yeah,
little tiny
yeah.
ball
You'll get
at
there
you.
someday,
You
Mike.
fucking
The
stitch at me.
biggest thing,
Okay.
the biggest thing Mike has to complain about is whether he's going to WrestleMania or the Indy 500.
Why not
Yeah.
both?
We'll see.
It's not like he's got a whole bunch of school debt to deal with.
That
Mike,
too.
you could room with Ryan, just don't snore like a motherfucker.
I don't have that problem. I don't snore, so
don't let him lie to you. Both of them snore, just not as loud as me.
Yeah, rule
See-
of thumb is make sure you go to bed before TJ and make sure you have earplugs in.
So
Or headphones.
Ryan and
Something.
myself, picture your phone. The sound your phone vibrates like. That's me and Ryan. TJ is the chainsaw trying to start, and a
Oh,
leaf
boy.
blower going at the same time.
Oh my goodness.
Only it
They're
sounds
not
like
wrong though.
It only sound. The only difference is the part that AJ's leaving out is imagine it trying to be like a wet chainsaw trying to start because his cheeks are bubble as he's snoring.
Anyway,
Damn it.
now that we're done elbowing each other off
Hold
the
on.
top rope about life.
Yeah.
Hold on, one more that will kill Mike. There
There-
were moments where TJ
Mike
would
is-
stop
wait a minute,
breathing
wait.
at night, and there'd be like 10 seconds where he would not
And
snore,
that's
and I
where
was
they
like,
try to fall back asleep.
no. I would be like, please tell me he's dead.
The worst part about it was it's not like you could fall asleep before he went to bed because he's on the phone with his mother and they talk like this on the phone all the time. There's never any quietness.
And he falls asleep mid-conversation for about 10 seconds.
I've fallen asleep on the podcast.
Or broadcasting.
That is the first time he's admitted to falling asleep on the podcast because he argued with us that one night that he did not fall asleep on the podcast. And it's like right there it is video evidence you were falling asleep faster than Sleepy Joe.
Hey, Mike, I
yeah,
just
man.
want you to know, laughing for hours straight will burn like 400 calories, so keep going.
Oh,
by the
that
way,
was great.
Elbowing each other off the top rope. The only one
Oh.
climbing to the top rope is Mike. The other three of us are breaking that son-bitch.
Yeah, you'll
I
have to
don't
push
know.
me off. You'll have to push me off because I can get up there.
I think Big Show got up on the top rope once.
Yeah, and Brock suplexed him.
Well, I mean, I didn't say I wouldn't break the ring. Frick,
Okay.
me tsunamiing somebody might break the ring.
So,
Tsunami!
second match of Worlds Collide was honestly another
Well,
really
yeah, I
good one.
forgot we were only on the second match.
Stephanie Valkyria and Lola Vice defeating Chick, Tormenta, and Dalise.
Sure.
Sure, let's go with that.
The
Devils thingy?
I didn't see this match, but I don't need to because the only moment
saw
of
the
match
clip.
I need-
You
Yeah.
saw the clip?
I saw the clip.
I saw Devil's Kiss times 2 and
Oh.
Overall, it was still a good match. It was fun.
You can't tell me. You can't watch that move and you not tell me that you're not doing this in
I'm
unison with her bouncing.
I'm waiting for it to start picking up in the strip clubs where people make the request for the strippers to start giving him the devil's kiss.
Oh my god.
That is it's literally the one time I'm on the side of Booker T.
They tried to have Pat do that last night.
I still want him to shut up.
Oh yeah.
Third match, Legado del Fantasma versus Ryan. Are you looking at it by any chance?
Is it Psycho Clown? Wasn't that one?
Psycho
Was
Clown
Yeah,
is
it
one,
is.
Pagano's
Like-
the other, and something
Doc
something
Pagano?
Dr. Wagner Jr.
Oh, it's the son of what Dr. Wagner Jr. That's
Yeah.
what it's.
What it translates
I
to.
don't know Spanish. Sorry, I didn't take that.
This
language.
was a hard hitting match.
Or-
Like it was
or
still kind of
any
high flying,
English.
but it was hard hitting. Like these guys hated each other.
Well,
And
you
it-
figure they worked with Delgado, or not Delgado, but they worked with Delgado in AAA before, so they are very familiar with each other.
Yeah.
Did Fantasma? Didn't they lose that match? Oh God, Delgado. Didn't they
No, they
lose that
won.
match? They
No, they
won. Wow,
won.
wow, they actually won that match.
And then going to the fourth match, Ethan Page defeats Javon Evans, Laredo Kid, and Ray Phoenix.
I will say I watched that match. That was very good. And there's some very athletic people in that ring. My goodness.
This
Was
is
it
my
bouncy?
This is my third favorite match of the day. I was kind of shocked that Ethan Page won. I thought it might have changed hands to either Ray Phoenix or Javon Evans. I would have thought it was cool if Laredo Kid won, but there were a couple moments where, Mike, I don't know if you could throw this for you or not. I had no clue who was going to win. And then out of nowhere, Ethan Page just wins.
I agree because I honestly thought it was. I thought it was going to go to Ray Phoenix. To be honest, is where I thought they were going to go with it. But yeah, I mean,
This is a match you guys need to watch.
Yeah, I was very surprised that he just they ended up going the way with Ethan Page. But I mean, hey,
And then Vikingo defeating Chad Gable in a 22-minute barn burner for the AAA Mega Championship, which was kind of spoiled that this was going to be for the championship a couple weeks beforehand. This is another match you guys need to watch because Chad Gable and Vikingo. I don't.
Is it El Helio? Is that how that's
I
spelled?
think so.
L-E?
El Helio del Vikingo.
Yeah, it's the son of Valkino. It's El Helio means the son. I had to look that up. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I don't know Spanish.
Well, the thing is,
Elio Castro Nevis' name is the son Castro Nevis.
obviously we know Chad Gable being WWE fans.
mm-hmm.
I have no clue who Vikingo was
I didn't either.
at all. And these two, I don't know if they were planning the match like weeks in advance and how they were going to do anything. But holy crap. There was a picture where the announcers are, the two tables. I don't know how Vikingo did it. But he annihilates Chad Gable from inside the ring, Vikingo, to Chad Gable standing at ringside. And then you see the ref just slide right out of the ring and just check on Chad Gable because it was gnarly. You guys need to watch this. Like seriously, like after this, we got to turn that on.
Chad had a lot of bumps yesterday on both shows that were like, "Ooh,
No, that's
we
not
sore
Chad.
today."
What do you mean,
What-
Mike?
what
Chad
do
was
you-
only on
Chad.
Worlds Collide.
Yeah, Chad was only in the back at Money in the Bank holding
Oh,
up
that's
the,
my bad. I'm sorry.
the fireball chair ladder.
Which apparently there were two of.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that apparently Alpha America brought to, or yeah, American Made brought to the ring, but they never showed them bring them to the ring.
Uh huh.
Hmm. And they wanted. I don't know why Chad needed to know where they were either.
I know.
That didn't make any sense.
All right.
I mean, Chad's,
before you,
Maybe he was gonna
Chad's-
tell.
Chad's really nice though, because I mean he let Americana use his boots on Monday night.
Before you move off Worlds Collide, Rey Mysterio did come back at Worlds Collide. I think, didn't he just do like a promo or something for a little bit?
Yeah, right
Yeah.
at the beginning.
Yeah.
He's hurt, right?
They never disclosed what his actual injury was.
I heard it was a groin, is what I heard.
Ooh.
He also, congratulations to Rey Mysterio for winning
Yes.
the Lifetime Achievement Award for Hispanic Heritage.
Yes.
Gracias.
Congratulations to him.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really talk. I'm Italian, so I don't know what he's done for the
They were
Mexican culture, but
They were saying that he was one of the greatest luchadors of all time.
I would assume that would be correct.
Before I watch it, how was Conan on the broadcast?
wasn't
Annoying to
bad.
start. Annoying to start, but once him and Corey got into the groove, middle of the second match to the end of the show, thought it ended up being a very good job. It didn't feel like Conan had the WWE pacing on commentary.
Even though there's a lot of people in the social media world that were not very happy with him, but I thought he was okay.
You could also tell when he's getting audio information because he'll be mid-conversation and then
Just stop.
Yeah.
It's a new thing. It's learning on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was the first match and maybe halfway through the second match, I thought it was very like, okay, I'm happy Conan's there, but Corey, you're going to need to carry. Which Corey, fantastic job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, I wouldn't think Corey couldn't do it, but I mean, it's nice to see Conan there and being a part of this whole thing. If anybody hasn't or doesn't know who Conan is, at one point in Mexico, he was equivalent to popularity wise as Hulk Hogan was in the States. He was on everything television wise in Mexico, just like Hogan was. Like Hogan did the right guard commercials. Hogan was in movies. Hogan was doing all that stuff. Conan was that in Mexico for the longest time until he came to the States in 90. He made the move to WCW in 95. I mean, he was going back and forth between Mexico and WCW at that point. I have always liked Conan.
We see all the luchadors that he brings with him to WCW.
Well, that's kind of
through
what
our review
that's
as well
kind of
as
what
just
Conan's
knowing.
known for. Conan's known for being the guy that bridged Mexico and the States together by being able to bring in all the talent that he was able to bring in between going to ECW or WCW at first. That was all Conan's doing. Conan and Rey Mysterio Jr. are very, very close. Almost like big brother, little brother type
Isn't
situation.
Conan Dom's Godfather?
Yeah. I would say Conan and Ray's relationship is closer than what they make Eddie and Ray's relationship look like.
Wow.
And speaking of Dom, they had a segment yesterday, World's Collide, that's going to set up for Money in the Bank match. Him and Octagon Jr. got into words, and that match got official for Money in the Bank, which we'll touch on in a little bit.
I did like seeing that Liv wears her normal clothes during the day, and that nighttime she wears the clothes ready for bed.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think she wears clothes to bed, but that's still beside the point. Anyhow. So what? Money in the Bank?
Yep.
Yeah. For everybody for everybody that was at the Kia Forum for Worlds Collide, it ended up being, I just looked it up because I wanted to figure out the distance. It's about a 25-minute walk from the Kia Forum to the Intuit Dome, and that's when we were seeing the arena have issues with getting people in there. It has been confirmed that it was taking them a ungodly long time to get people into the arena. It's only one.
Wonder with what? Like, I mean, having lived it 2 years ago.
Well, remember the Intuit Dome. It's everything phone. It's everything. Nothing is. It's by like you pay by like your eye, and it's a whole bunch of weird shit. So all it takes is for computers to be down, and it could be a pain in the ass to get into that building.
Or it very much could be a technology bottleneck with the network.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, we got into most of the events we went to that Mania week. I mean, it took a minute, but like, it was We were moving.
And there were a couple moments where somebody had to go back to the fucking car.
Uh,
All right.
Uh,
Money in the Bank from Los Angeles, Inglewood, California, Intuit Dome. 17,069 people in attendance. Tagline: the last time is now. The second event WWE has put on in the Intuit Dome. And it started out with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Naomi defeating Alexa Bliss, Julia, Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, and Stephanie Valkyr. Ryan, give us the lesson.
womp womp womp.
I'll give you the lesson. The three new ones wasn't winning Money in the Bank in their first pay-per-view. This wasn't happening.
Okay, so that eliminates the three of them. Rhea Ripley didn't need it. There's 4.
Alexa Bliss needs to have a story before she can win Money in the Bank.
So if you use that, apparently the only logical answer would have been Naomi.
I know Naomi gets a lot of flack for her in-ring ability, and I'm not standing on a soapbox for her. But the character change for Naomi, if you actually sit down and actually pay attention to it and don't just roll your eyes at the idea of Naomi and Jade, God, this is going to be horrible. Which, keep in mind, the WrestleMania match was actually pretty solid for what everybody was expecting. It was definitely better. This proceed with caution type character that Naomi is not a bad character at all, and it's actually it's not like must see to hear her promos or what she's gonna do, but I'm intrigued to see what she does next. She spoke about it on the post conference with Big E that 1, she's not done with Jade. 2, now she's got a briefcase, which makes her extremely dangerous. I would imagine she might get moved with the draft coming up around the corner. So she probably could get moved to Raw. She might not. But I don't hate the fact I don't understand people's logic where they think people need to have the Money in the Bank briefcase because their story makes the most sense or they're the most hottest wrestler in the as far as traction goes or any of that kind of stuff. Especially for the 3 that just joined the main roster. Let them get their feet wet. Let them go into that Queen of the Ring tournament. I would strongly say that it's most likely the finals of that Queen of the Ring tournament is going to be Charlotte and Stephanie.
See, I kind of wish, because correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, and this might just be, again, my opinion. I feel like Money in the Bank should be the thing that jumpstarts people's careers. Not like jumpstarts, but it gives them that immediate moment.
But that's
what me is why I was hoping like a Julia would have won.
But that's
but she's gonna go after the United States title.
But no, but listen, yes, winning the Money in the Bank can jumpstart you. But what are you guys? What would just hear me out? What would you guys do 3 months from now if she cashed in and didn't win?
Who? Naomi?
Any of them?
If it's Naomi, celebrate.
Well, here's the thing with the women's one. Every woman that has won that briefcase won.
Cashed in. There's no saying that Naomi's going to succeed at it.
So
but if you take Stephanie or you take Julia or you take Roxanne and have her carry around a briefcase for 3 months,
why is she going to carry it for 3 months?
Because
why not carry it for almost a year?
Okay, so she carries it for a year and cashes it in and doesn't succeed. Then what is your thoughts on her with the Money in the Bank briefcase? It should be the
ride along the way? I don't care. I don't care what Naomi does with this briefcase. I no longer care about it. I have no investment in it.
What does she need the briefcase for to go along for the ride to fail?
Who says she fails? Who says in a year they're not ready? I mean, Roxanne is already knocking on the door. Stephanie is already knocking on the door. In a year, we can see a rise like Tiffany Stratton's.
I kind of knew that Julia wasn't going to win the whole thing just because they've been teasing her going after the United States title, and especially on SmackDown, how that was teased. I knew that she wasn't winning.
Yeah,
Because
that
the one thing,
that one makes sense.
thing we've never got out of the women's briefcase is longevity. Ever.
I mean, when did Tiffany cash in?
I
Before
think
Mania.
Tiffany
In
may have held
January?
it one of the longest.
January? Well, that's still 6 months.
Still 6 months compared to the other ones that have been the same night. How many times has the women Money in the Bank briefcase been cashed in the same night?
Twice?
Alexa Bliss was one.
3.
3? Okay, well, at least I didn't say 1.
Bliss was
Oh.
one. Wasn't Carmella two?
Carmella was 2. Bailey against Charlotte was 3.
Oh yeah, that's right, Bailey. Yeah, that's right. That was the
AJ
third
should
one.
get slapped in the head because we were there for that one.
That's one of the ones I was thinking of.
Yeah. So I mean and really the longevity of Tiffany's was probably the best version. But I don't
But she was also packed into a storyline with Nia and Candice
I don't
LeRae.
I'm not one. I guess it's just me being me, but I'm not one to come to the main roster and instantly get pushed to the moon and automatically thrown into the world title picture. Now that there's mid card titles in the women's division, there's no need to push them to the moon to the world titles yet.
I had a feeling that
Just not.
I had a feeling when they put Vakura in there, like last week for when she won her match on Raw. I was afraid of that. I said, "Well, they're going to push her right to the moon."
Yeah, don't push them. As soon as you push them to the moon, as soon as that fizzles out, that's how people get released. All it takes is for it to fizzle out enough that they drop the title, and then what are you going to do with them?
So what you're saying is everybody needs to hit a mid card before they hit the main title.
My old school way of thinking is I think everybody should work their way up the ladder to get to the world title.
See, I agree with that, but I still feel like there should be a couple people
and the only thing
jump it a little.
The only thing that makes an exception to that is the Money in the Bank briefcase and the Royal Rumble. But I don't think winning those two things you should be just been brought in. I just don't. You haven't done anything on the main roster to put yourself in the world title picture yet, in my opinion. That's the problem, is they've made it that the world titles in both divisions are not that elite level anymore. You can have somebody like Damian Sandow run around with a briefcase where you're waiting for him to cash in. Thank God he was the first one to fail, because Damian Sandow as the world heavyweight champion would have been horrible.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference between how it was 13 years ago to what it is now.
How over was Damian Sandow after he lost the Money in the Bank briefcase?
Oh, he was over quite a bit when he was
with the Miz.
When he ended up going with the Miz.
Yes.
So
Miz Dow.
It proves my point that the briefcase you don't need the briefcase. Get over. Let Roxanne go into a feud with Bliss or continue this Judgment Day thing with Liv.
Yes.
At some point, Dom and Liv are going to be a face by the end of the year. If Liv is not connected with Finn and screwing up the Judgment Day in total, it's going to be Dom is going to be a face by the end of the year against the Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
And my personal opinion, what I think would be an interesting twist is if Liv is with cahoots with Finn, which I've said from the beginning that that's the case, as it reunites Dom and Rhea. And even Damian. You reunite the original Judgment Day to go against Finn's group, that would be pretty interesting to see. And what's it do? It makes everybody quit bitching about Rhea Ripley being in the main event picture for the women's division because she's focused on something else. That's the problem. That's what happens with these girls. Charlotte is a prime example of it. You know why Charlotte's a 14-time women's champion? Because there was nothing else for Charlotte to focus on that would get her any establishment in the business other than being the champion. It's why Sasha Banks is like a 6-time WWE champion. It's why Bayley is so many time world champion. It's why that generation group of the women's movement are so many multi-time women's world champions, because there wasn't a mid-card title to deal with.
There was 2 top titles.
There was nothing to twist or nothing to divert their attention from. The only thing to focus on was the world heavyweight title or the women's world championship. Now there's mid card titles. Unfortunately, like we saw in Money in the Bank, because we can jump to the next match on it, we saw Becky Lynch is the Intercontinental Champion now.
Mhm.
Do I agree? Do I agree that Becky should have been the first woman to now hold every NXT title and every WWE title on the levels? Granted, she's not held the US Championship yet. No, I don't. I don't think Becky deserves that nod, but they gave it to her anyway. What is she gonna do with it? Is she gonna make Lyra? To me, Lyra in that match last night was fantastic. I thought she.
I didn't have a problem with either match. Just the
Sadly,
winners.
Sadly enough, I thought Lyra carried Becky through that match more than Becky carried Lyra through it. In my opinion. I mean, it's Naomi's character was the hottest character going on wrestling that was already established. It made sense for her to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. Let's go there with that. Whether you don't,
your opinion.
How is of the other three? Are they anywhere more established than what the Naomi character was?
I just don't care about Naomi's character.
Again, I just said if you don't care about her, then that's different. But if you look at the product,
but it's not just me. The three people I watched all groaned when she won.
No. I mean,
that's 3 of 3.
Just move on.
I mean,
from that,
I understand after talking with Ryan why Naomi won. Do I still wish Roxanne or even Alexa Bliss
any
won?
of the other 5? I will throw this out like a Joey Logano winning a championship situation. Anybody else didn't care.
Yeah.
Isn't he like a 3-time
And I'll throw it to the
too?
men's match.
Yeah,
Anybody but that jackass too.
Well, no, I could see why Seth. I could really see why Seth, because he's got.
So could I, but he didn't need it.
Well, we all know where that's going anyway, especially after what we saw in the main event. We all know where that's going.
Do you really think he cashes in Monday?
After what
I think he tries to. I don't see Seth holding this Money in the Bank briefcase till WrestleMania.
No.
If you had told me at the end of the night the person who was in their 3rd Money in the Bank match finally won the match and it was the one that did it, I would have been just as pissed then, before, as after.
I mean,
the one that should have won it didn't.
You could also be talking about Andrade at that point.
I was gonna say, so you're talking about LA Knight?
LA Knight would have been great. It's who I wanted.
That's who I picked.
Andrade would have been great. Was my second hope.
Well,
No, I thought it would be funny if it. I didn't want it to happen, but Americano if he won.
Even that.
Andrade's second hope is if he can walk straight right now.
Yep.
I mean, again, same with the men's match. Anybody but him.
Well, we also had Fatu take out Solo, and that's going to be a whole storyline.
That was great. That was the best part of that match.
The whole match was great, TJ.
Well, I know. I'm not. Again, I have no issue with the result. The matches. It's just the results. The matches were all phenomenal.
I think
hate the winners.
I think to get the Seth Rollins faction group to the level that WWE wants it to be, which is basically to be the dominating group.
It's going to be Evolution.
It had to be Seth last night.
I was really hoping CM Punk was going to come out there and screw him.
Can you imagine? I doubt that they're going to call it that. But can you imagine if they call the group Evolution?
I don't understand. That's like the one part of the booking part that made absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Of that whole thing.
Punk screwing Rollins?
About Punk not showing up. Rollins screws Punk on Monday night.
Apparently, Punk has a broken nose.
I wouldn't. He'd come out there with tape on his nose.
So does Chelsea Green. What is your point?
So here's my thing on this. If you think about last year, Punk screwed McIntyre Money in the Bank. Hold on.
I know what you're putting down. That's what was my thought after I thought about it too.
And you remember what happened at SummerSlam? Rollins kind of screwed Punk at SummerSlam because Punk lost to McIntyre. You go a whole year forward. Rollins gets screwed at Money in the Bank, and then we have a Punk versus Rollins match at SummerSlam, caps off a 1-year story. That was where my thinking was.
Well, okay, I went a little different than that. I was thinking more along the line of what would Punk get more satisfaction out of? Letting Rollins making Rollins not win the briefcase, or Rollins winning the briefcase, and every time he tries to cash it in, Punk cuts him off.
Ooh,
Now
that's a
for-
good one. I didn't think about that way.
Now, for everybody watching, because we have a good sized group, what are your thoughts on these matches? Let us know in the comment sections. Who did you want to win? Who were you hoping to win? And what storylines do you think could possibly be coming?
I think that would be more like poking the bear type.
Yeah.
Where like every time Rollins thinks about cashing in, Punk's music hits, and it just keeps doing it. And what if, crazy thought here, but they have a deadline that they're supposed to use this briefcase by.
What if they let it lapse?
What if Punk costs Rollins to hold the briefcase for a year and not able to cash in, gets his briefcase taken away, and never gets to cash in with it?
Hell, I'll go a step further with this. What if Punk comes out, screws Rollins, and pulls a Brock Lesnar and climbs up and grabs it himself last night? Tell me that wouldn't have been hilarious?
Brock Lesnar took Sami Zayn's spot, so technically he's in the match then.
Yeah, there was an open spot in that match.
Yeah.
There were 6 men in that match.
No. Sammy was supposed to be the 6th man. And Sammy gets taken out backstage mysteriously. And then as the match is almost over, Brock Lesnar's music hits. I was there.
I don't know. The thing was the dumbest thing at that time, and now I kind of wish it had happened again. Hell, I was hoping Jacob went up the ladder. Anything.
There's so many different stories you can tell with the Rollins winning the Money in the Bank that, yes, everybody's going to assume he's going to cash in instantly. I don't think it'll be a long briefcase hold for him. It's going to make this. You might as well prepare for Rollins to be world champion and the 2 Bronsons to be the tag champs. That's going to happen.
They have to get a 4th soon, right?
I mean, Becky's sitting there with the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, that's exactly why I keep going. I keep going to her.
But a dude 4th. Like, I understand the women's.
Why do they need 4? Why do they need
to take the Intercontinental title?
No.
No, I think
I was literally thinking Evolution.
I don't think you're gonna get that kind of domination of an Evolution group right now.
No,
I don't think you're gonna have that. Could I be wrong? Yeah, but I just don't see it unless you add Dom to the group.
Yeah.
But there throws away your idea of Dom being a face by the end of the year.
Yeah, that's another good point too.
Dom's already a face now.
He just doesn't act like one.
Not technically. I mean,
he plays that
more traversing the middle ground.
He plays that gray area really well.
He's a tweener.
Because he was definitely a heel in the match last night.
And Liv
Morgan. Because I'll point out that a heel won the first 4 matches of the evening.
And Liv Morgan may cause a distraction, allowing him to capitalize and win. So,
shall we get into the biggest lackluster main event that we've seen?
Can I say the drone shot was pretty damn epic, though?
Yeah, I will say.
You didn't like the match? I didn't mind the match.
I didn't like it at all.
Wow.
I thought
why?
I thought the best part of the match was what Mike just said, the drone shot, and then Ron Killings showing up and beating the shit out of John Cena. That was it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
the match was slow. The match was it didn't have the pace, the consistent pace. Like, if you're going to be methodical, and that's fine. It just felt like it was stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go the whole match long. And I didn't care at all.
Wait, you're saying that the match ruined the wrestling?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was everybody. It wasn't just John Cena.
But isn't the story, the overall arching story, to ruin wrestling?
Sure. I didn't like it. I wish the men's Money in the Bank was the finale.
It was only going to main event because of Cena. That's the reason why.
Well,
what are we down to? Appearances 21 now.
It also
20.
it also was the main event that we gave everybody hope that Rollins was going to cash in the main event.
Well, especially after the amount of damage they did to Jay. That's why I was like, okay. And then after the match, when they were doing a promo, it's like, okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't a fan. It was almost 24 minutes of. Okay.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it was just me, but I thought maybe they ran through everything else too quick. And they were like, guys, we need to fill a little more air. Can you slow it down just a little?
I don't think they care.
It's
me. Not pay-per-view anymore.
I think everything was evened out pretty well match-wise. I didn't feel like anything was ever rushed.
By the way, did any of you bite prior to Truth coming out that you really thought he was gone?
Well, supposedly, from what I read this morning, he was contacted by Nick Khan this week, and WWE tried talking to him earlier in the week, and he didn't want to take their phone calls until Nick Khan reached out.
Did you enjoy the product?
Did you enjoy the show?
That's all that matters.
I love the post match. The question they asked Hunter.
That's all that matters.
Look, even
I don't.
Ron, because I'm not calling him R-Truth anymore because he's going by Ron Killings now. Even he said, I was gone. It was you guys that brought me back. Granted, do you believe Twitter? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
We will never know the actuality of it, but man, I love the story.
That's the best thing about it is you're never gonna know which side of it is the truth, but the IWC is gonna definitely say the WWE went calling for him just because of the cry out that they had, because they want to feel important. That it was all about them was the reason they signed him, and I said from day one that
they talked about it on SmackDown.
Rhea Ripley
mentioned it.
Rhea Ripley wore the shirt that WWE released on the shop last week on Raw. And it's not an R-Truth shirt. It's a Ron Killing shirt.
They told her to take it off.
She also wore the same shirt 2 months ago. So it's a Ron Killing shirt that WWE put on the shop. And if I've seen this too, and if you don't think that the WWE would do this, Ron Killings was scheduled for autograph signings during Money in the Bank weekend.
With them?
With them. It got pulled, it got canceled, and everybody got their money back. If you don't think the WWE would do that to keep a storyline going, then you don't know the WWE. You're one of those ones that'll believe anything that Dave Meltzer piece of shit will tell you. That's what you are. And if you think that because you know somebody in the business and they told you that it was this or that, they don't know shit either. They don't. If your name's not Nick Khan, Triple H, and Ron Killings, you have no idea what happened. None. So everybody's going to speculate and everybody's going to tell people what they want to hear. But the truth of the matter is the only three that know what happened were Triple H, Nick Khan, and Ron Killings.
And I kind of want to throw this out there last night because there was a little moment in our friend group. Me and my buddy were behind a little, like a half a match behind. We didn't know what happened, and everybody was losing their mind. I thought it was like a Brock Lesnar level return when they were going nuts because we were in a party chat. Come to find out, it was truth. I'm like, really? Like I said, leading up to it, I'm like, Vince McMahon better show up and shoot Stone Cold out of his you-know-what, with the way you guys were losing your minds. And then it was truth. I'm like, really? That's what had you all going bananas? Like,
I mean...
Pay attention. Are you paying attention to the product?
I don't know what it's been for like the last 2 weeks for me, but like I've like seen so much stuff now where I'm to the point now where I kind of want to block everything off again because it's just... The wrestling community is the only community that will pick apart the thing that they love the most.
I love it. I love moments like this where they get it wrong.
I think Star Wars is worse.
Yeah, Star Wars.
I love it when they get it wrong.
Yeah.
All right,
I agree with AJ on that one.
For the normal human beings, wrestling is the thing that they'll take.
So you?
It's only you.
I think you may not be the normal one on this one,
Uh,
pal.
Well, yeah, you're outnumbered.
who the hell
Overall,
is
though,
who the hell is Snagglepuss?
No clue, but he says TJ's the most nerd, I'm the second most nerd, Mike is the third most nerd, and Ryan, you're the fourth most nerd.
I
In his power
appreciate that
rankings.
comment. You're telling me I'm beating out AJ's wall of Funko? Hell yeah!
But I'm trying to figure out. I don't really know who Office Space and who I don't want to know what a Vsauce is. I do know who John Boy is.
Isn't
John Boy
Milton
is.
the?
I don't know. I didn't want to watch Office Space. I'm not that big of a nerd.
I don't
Isn't
know
he
what
the
Office
stapler
Space is.
guy?
But
I
I
think
mean,
he's
we
the
need
stapler
to.
guy.
I think what we need to do is we need to come up with some kind of bet or some kind of thing where it's 3-on-1 here. Where if I win, I make you three watch something or do something wrestling wise that you've never done
I
before.
don't like where this is going.
And if I lose, then I guess I'll have to watch all of Star Wars.
You got
All? I'm
got-
in if you're putting all. I thought you'd say one movie. All? Hell
Make
yeah,
it-
I'm in.
Make him watch all 9. He's like the first 6 are decent, but
No,
the
no,
last
no.
3,
Not,
good
no,
luck.
no. He's got 11 that he needs to watch.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's a good point.
One,
got
two,
11.
three,
Listen,
four,
I'll be
five.
straight up honest. I've only seen 10.
I'll make you guys watch the last year of WCW. That's nauseating as it is.
I'd do it just because you want me to. I love you, my guru.
And in about 6 months, he's gonna say, "I hate you."
I hate you. Yep. He's gonna say the exact same
So
wording.
Ryan, are we killing it here, or are we gonna do the what if storylines that we're
Well,
going to send to you?
Are you gonna do the TKO thing too?
We'll get into the TKO budget stuff a little next week.
Okay.
I want to deep dive into that a little bit more with you guys and get a little bit more financial stuff, but I'll just put it out there for what we've all seen. It's not WWE is the reason TKO is in debt.
How much was that UFC pay-per-view last night?
$85 after tax.
$80. Now, granted, the girl that I wanted to win won, and now that she's gonna face Amanda Nunes, I'm like, I really want to watch the next one.
Hey, the best part is if you get like 4 or 5 people buying into it.
Well, yeah, and then we have the one buddy that evidently has friends that can stream it, but he doesn't have a computer.
Yep. I wonder if you were gonna bring that up.
Oh, I thought that was kind of a dick move, but I just kept it to myself. Yeah, so we're gonna get more. We're gonna dive deep into the whole $3 billion in debt thing next week. AJ, you were reached out to contact by somebody about a what if.
I still think you knew about it.
I knew nothing about it.
All right, this is Budsco.
Budsco is like my one closest best friend, like a brother.
Throw to Ryan during the what if segment. What if Gino Hernandez wouldn't have died? Would Eddie Guerrero still be considered the greatest Spanish wrestler of all time?
Damn, I wasn't expecting that deep of a pool, to be honest with you. It's more shocking that Budsco knew who Gino Hernandez was. Evidently, somebody's been doing his homework. I think if Gino Hernandez would not have gotten killed, there's a very good chance that Bret Hart is not a 5-time WWF champion.
Oh, sure.
I think Gino Hernandez had what it took to be the top dog in WWF after Hogan left. He was definitely the best talent in world class, not named Von Erich. I think Gino would have went to the WWF, and him and Shawn would have had some really good matches with each other. Him and Bret would have had really good matches with each other. But Bret wouldn't have been a 5-time WWF champion because Gino would have taken 1 or 2 of those reigns from him. Gino was a hell of a talent, and he was naturally gifted. He was a handsome man, so the ladies loved him. He played up the playboy character, so to speak, of that era. And he was really good in the ring. He was very solid in the ring. I think don't think he was. I don't think he was very far off from getting a contract from WWE, or I don't think WCW probably would have gave him one, but WWF was probably looking to sign him
Well, look at
because
all the guys that they brought in during that era.
he was very he would have fit very well into that mid card era for the early or the sorry, excuse me. He would have fit really good into the mid card era in the late 80s, and he would have blossomed kind of like Shawn did from the tag team ranks and Brett did from the tag team ranks. Gino definitely would have fit right in, and it would have been a it would have been a 3-person race through the 90s between Brett, Gino, and Shawn. And you may
So
not have
isn't it
ever you may
fair
not
to
have ever
tack
got
on?
you may
Would
have
we
never
get Stone
got
Cold?
I was going to say you may have never gotten Stone Cold Steve Austin if Gino Hernandez didn't get killed. I could say that probably be more of a thing. Austin would have been lost in the sauce.
Wow.
If Gino was around,
Wow.
Gino Smith, yeah,
Smith.
not that
Ah.
talent.
Not that Gino.
Gino
Hey, you are going
Hernandez.
to Vegas.
If you go on the network and watch World Class Wrestling, and watch Gino Smith and Chris Adams as a
You
tag
did it again.
team. I did. I realized I did. Hernandez. If you go back on World Class Wrestling and watch them two as a tag team, is over entertaining. Like them two together are hilarious to watch with their promos, but in the ring, they're both excellent wrestlers, and they were fun to watch for that era of wrestling. So that was a really. I'm gonna give him a compliment when I talk to him next time. I was not expecting him to pull a Gino Hernandez on me in the middle of
All
this
right.
era. I wasn't expecting it.
We haven't got one from Mike. We'll save the ones for TJ and myself for next week. But Mike hasn't come up with one yet. Mike, do you have a what if?
Off the top of my head,
Yeah.
What if China stays in WWE for a longer period of time? Do you think she wins multiple championships?
That one's hard to tell. I mean, you figure the emotion she was going through, finding out that her boyfriend was dating the boss's daughter, or wasn't dating the boss's daughter, or however that story gets twisted, knowing that she's the outcast in the promotion now. I think her leaving was probably her best choice. I think what she chose to do after the fact is probably what was her downfall.
Yeah.
I mean, she went to Japan. She wrestled Masahiro Chono in Japan. She got her ass kicked in Japan, and she smiled and asked for more. And then she got busted with drugs, and that was the downfall.
Yep.
China in the WWE, I think she was set up from the beginning to be short lived. You can't come in and be a bodyguard and take on the men, win men's titles, and then start downgrading the women and being the women's champion and not be the women's champion and who could never lose.
Wouldn't
And
you
that's
love it if she had came 10 years later and now we're getting like her
Dude,
versus Rhea Ripley?
Dude, there's
Her
so
versus
many.
Rhea Ripley is a dream match for me.
Dude, there are so many women from the 80s and the 90s that I wish were here now to watch to wrestle, because for the most part, some of them would be on top, and
Alundra
Alundra Blaze, Sherry Martel, Luna Vachon, that's just to name a couple. Those girls busted their asses and got nothing out of nothing.
I wish we had Lita and Trish in their prime right now.
Oh yeah, I would agree on that one too. I think Lita and Trish. I think if we have Lita and Trish, we have a very good tag team division.
I would say even Mickey James in her prime.
Yeah, I even the girls in that era with China. I mean, you had China, Ivory, Jacqueline, Victoria.
Mm-hmm.
Those girls, if you put them all together, and I'm hoping, and I really, really hope with Evolution, we get a couple of them. I don't really. I mean, I know we're getting Nikki Bella on Monday night. Is it this Monday night or next Monday?
This Monday night.
This Monday.
That means we're not getting John Cena this Monday night. But like,
we only got 20 appearances.
Ryan, she's divorced now. Maybe she's looking for a sugar daddy to help with those payments.
Have you seen John Cena's wife? I know he wants no family or no kids, but damn. I can't pronounce her whole name, but damn. Anyhow. But like I want to see
Did you see Bret Hart's the guy Bret Hart in our comment section comment? That's great.
You want to read it?
Yeah, he says Chad will master strong style next to become the ultimate wrestler. Oh man.
Mini
Ultimate Warrior.
Mini Kurt. I mean, as long as we don't get Perk Kurt.
Kurt Gable.
The sad part is Kurt was the better Kurt.
I know. But China would have been, she was the women's champion when she left. They basically gave up the women's title to Lita because China decided not to resign. It would be very hard pressed to see China losing that women's championship in that era. I think somebody asked me that question last night about who would win in a match between China and Rhea. I still think Rhea wins because China was very one-dimensional in the wrestling ring.
She's a powerhouse.
That's all she had. That was all she had to be then. Who knows what we would have got?
She's a powerhouse that wrestles like a man. That's who she was trained by. I mean, you keep in mind, China and Triple H were trained by the same person. They were both trained by Killer Kowalski. So, who's to say? It sucks that she's not here anymore. I know that.
Yeah.
Will she get into the Hall of Fame by herself? Triple H has made that clear that yes, but the timing needs to be right. Keep in mind, like I said before, they're not going to put people that have passed away in the Hall of Fame on the main show. They're going to make them legacy Hall of Fame members because guess what? We can't hear them talk. They're dead. So they're going to get into that legacy wing of the Hall of Fame. And China would be the first woman to be a 2-time Hall of Famer.
You know,
and she deserves that honor.
I don't know if it'll ever happen. I don't know where they would put it. You have Coopertown, you have Canton, you have, I'm guessing it's up in Montreal for NHL, and Springfield, Mass for basketball. I wish there was a spot that they can get for
an actual hall
of Fame, a wrestling Hall of Fame, not just WWE, but to incorporate Japanese, Mexican,
and not in Rydia.
There is 2 pro wrestling Hall of Fames.
Oh.
There's one in Waterloo, New York. And then the Cauliflower Alley Club they meet in Vegas. I thought about signing up to join the Cauliflower Alley Club one time. It's like a membership. It costs like $200 and some to join. But they do a Hall of Fame.
Just a place people can go to see like the busts and the statues and plaques.
I think with TKO, you're very lucky. You're gonna probably get a.
And it's probably gonna be in Saudi.
Well, no, you'll probably get a.
Doesn't they already have something in Rydia? Did they leave when last time they were there? Remember the whole thing they left?
They got a WWE experience over there.
Like permanent.
You're probably more likely to get a TKO style Hall of Fame with UFC and WWE together. And I would say you're most likely going to get that in Vegas.
Not with the money in debt they are. Allegedly.
Yeah, but just because you're in debt, you just keep spending money till hopefully you start.
Listen, that's how
back.
WCW died. WCW had money on the books. They just didn't have money to get there.
Let's not get into how WCW died because that's not how WCW died.
All right, so let's close up shop. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe, follow all of our socials, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. Next episode for the nerds will be Thursday when they talk about Stitch the movie.
AJ.
What?
You want to let anybody in on the little project we're working on?
Well, technically, it's your project. I'm just editing it.
It's on this channel, dog. It's your project.
Fine. The Wrestling with Nerds are putting together some indie wrestling matches. Ryan will be videotaping. Ryan and myself will attempt to do the commentary to it. So yeah, stay tuned. We're just waiting on a couple more graphics and a couple more videos so we could pump them out at a little bit of a timely pace. But yeah, Ryan, it's Championship Pro Wrestling from West Virginia.
No, it's Championship Pro Wrestling. It's the wrestling promotion that I work with. They're indie our shows for over the summer. I'm gonna be recording, and then like AJ said, we're gonna do. I think it'd be more fun. We're gonna probably do some kind of mystery science theater type commentating on it. Only because AJ really doesn't know the people in the matches. I do, of course. Um, but we're gonna put them together, put them together, and stick them on this YouTube page. So that you can see kind of what I'm doing on a weekend when I'm doing my ring announcing and everything. Plus, it gets them guys able to get a hold of some of the videos from those matches. Um, but we'll post this. I'll post the schedule of what we got lined up for the rest of the summer because I'm pretty sure from here on out everything is an open event that we have. The first show it was 2 private events for campgrounds. So looking forward to that. Working with Shane, he gave me permission to film whatever I want and put on YouTube whatever I want. So looking forward to that. One of the guys that is going to be on our card recently lost a championship that he held in a different promotion to a guy that was at Worlds Collide yesterday. Savio Vega was in the crowd for Worlds Collide. The guy that I'm speaking of is Bill Bain. He recently just dropped the 3 Legacy Wrestling World Championship to Savio on last Saturday, before Worlds Collide. 3 Legacy Wrestling is a wrestling organization. It's in mid Pennsylvania. That Harrisburg, Lehigh Valley area of Pennsylvania, and the head guy is a guy we should all know, and that's Ricardo Rodriguez. So
The ring announcer.
yes, so we're gonna have some of the matches. Looking forward to this little pet project we got going on. I kind of like the whole production side of it, so stay tuned for that. We'll get that started going here before too long. We just got to do the commentating on it.
And get some of the graphics that I could throw in there. So, yeah, everybody. Got a
Me
lot
and
coming
AJ
down the pipeline.
Me and AJ see and speak to each other enough that we're just tired of doing extra projects together. So we're trying to you need to do this. Yeah, but I'm tired of talking to you. Yeah.
That's all you then, because I have not said that. I want content. Content and content. Ryan just basically said,
I can hear it in your tone sometimes. You're like, God, I got to talk to you again.
All right, well, let's close up shop. See you later, everybody. Take care. We'll see you Thursday for Stitch the Movie. And TJ.
1 time for the 1 times, 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet!
You forgot the
I ain't waiting. We're getting out of here. The race is on, man. We're like 15 laps in.
Ah, you're fine.
My Pixar, I forgot.
You only need to watch the last one.
I did.